Okay, so now we are going to put the engine covering on, and then convert the center part and the wing cover and the engine covering into one part, and put in the landing gear hole and the and the inboard flap hole. So first thing to do would be to open up the files we made. So there's our centered and our engine. Gonna hide the planes. Okay. Then we're gonna make an assembly. Put the center in, and I don't, some people don't know this trick, but if you just press the click button, like if I just clicked out in space, then my origin of my part and the origin of my assembly won't line up, and then I can't use symmetry. So if I click check, then it puts my origin of the center onto the origin of the assembly. So that way I can use my base planes. But just kind of a tip I always tell people. Okay, so we've got that, and then let's insert the engine nozzle. Nacelle, I call it nozzle just because I'm a stupid American. Okay. So there's that, and then if you look at the image, you'll see that the covering is perpendicular to the dihedral. So the way to do that would be to put a mate on this face, and then on our covering, I believe it was the front, nope, it wasn't the front plane, it was the right plane. And we're going to make that parallel and flip it. So now if we look along the front, oh, whoops, sorry, that doesn't work because this plane is vertical. So I made that mistake when I first made the part too, and I just made it again. So to do that, we're going to put a plane on, on this point and perpendicular or normal to that line. There we go. And now we can mate that plane to the right. And we want to be parallel. There. Now it's tilted. Then the next thing is if we look at our image, it looks like, because we made the cut right about here, so it looks like this comes almost in line to the edge. So we will look from the front, nope, from the right. Flip it. And we want to move this to right about there. And so we'll make a mate between the, we'll make it a distance mate between the plane we made and our right plane. Yeah, let's try 100 millimeters, maybe 500, nope, 300, 350, yeah, that looks pretty good. So now, all we need to do is adjust the height and our forward position. So if we come, oops, not that one. if we come and look at the image, looking here, you'll see that it goes a little bit below the leading edge, and about where this plane was is where it ends at the trailing edge. So we'll look at it from the front. Actually, let's look at it in line with this plane here. Okay, that looks pretty good. One thing I do want to do is come back into the engine and let's see, it's probably this sketch. No, it's going to be too much work. We'll live with it. I was going to want to kind of bring this down, but I mean, it's not really going to matter. Okay, and to put this in place, we're going to delete all the mates we just made. They'll go up to this folder and delete these mates. Yes to all. Then we're going to make a new mate. It's going to be a lock mate between this part and that part. And now it's locked in. Okay, and then we're just gonna, let me think about this. Alright, well, about this point is where you want to make sure that you don't want to make any major changes to the airfoil, the part that we made so far, because after we do this next step we won't be able to change them without coming back into this assembly. So we want to first rebuild it and then save this assembly as save it as something like something like that. And then we want to come in, because what we want to do is we want to make this all one solid body. Right now these are two bodies that are put together, and in order for us to make a solid step file for like a CNC to mill out, we need to make it a solid body. So go to save as, and we're going to save it as a part. And this will be the center, oops. Center with max. And just accept that the default parts. Okay, and then we're going to open up this part we just made. And we can't do feature recognition because we have two solid bodies intersecting, which is not good. So you'll see what I mean by now we have nothing in our feature tree, so we can't really edit anything. So that's why it's important to make sure you got everything how you like it. And now you come up into the solid body section, and you'll see we've got our center and our engine cover. And what I want to do is select the two, combine, add, show preview, and you'll see it makes it all just one big solid body. And so now we've got, like, you know, you'll see looking at that now it's one nice seamless body. Now I want to mirror, well, I don't want to mirror it over just yet, but I am going to go ahead and get rid of all this half, because well, we don't need it. So we'll go up to vertex. Okay, so now we have half a wing again. Now we want to put our flaps and our landing gear in. And I wanted to save that till after we made the conversion, because if we didn't, then we'd have part of our engine covering going through our landing gear bay, which would just be a pain to deal with. So first we need to make a plane for us to draw our flap surfaces on. So that'll do. And then we gotta come to our image again and measure out these guys. So it looks like we come that far down, that far over, and then we'll line it up better once we get to the assembly, because I'm trying to figure out how I would line this up with that line, and we can't do that until we make an assembly, so we'll do that. Okay, so put an extrude cut on this plane, go normal 2, and our dimensions. One, 3, 2, 0. Actually, let's make that 1, 3, 0, 0. I just don't want to put it over this edge, but it's weird because I don't really remember it being like that on the other one, but whatever. And then 420, and this is the dimension we're going to have to edit at some point. Oops, 420, 340. Okay, next out of that sketch, we want to do that offset from surface that we did like the last time. And I think we did 50. Be sure to do reverse, translate surface, 50. Did we do 50? Or did we do 10? Maybe 25. Let's just keep it at 10. I'm sure we're going to edit it at some point. But yeah, so there's our flap entrance. Oh, hold on, I think I'm going to sneeze. Oof, okay. And now we got to put our landing gear bay. So we'll come back in here. Sketch this out the best we can. being difficult. Okay. I'll be difficult with it. Okay. So I don't want to convert all that. So I'm just going to delete the rest of this sketch. And we're just going to save it as a block. Okay, and then I want to fully define the sketch. Calculate. So now this, well, I'm just going to fix all the points. I'm just trying to avoid what happened on the on our airfoils where it didn't save the relationships correctly. So tools, blocks, save, wheel profiles. Okay, and then we'll do another sketch on here. Tools, blocks, insert, browse, Odesk, Cessna plane, video, wheel profile. Okay, and then we will rotate this guy 180, 180. And we gotta flip them. Okay, now I need to figure out where it is relative to everything else. So we'll put a point here representing the leading edge corner. So 670 and 42. And let's do a cut extrude. We're just gonna have to do it blind because well, the problem is I'm trying to offset it from this surface and this surface, and since they're not the same surface, it won't let me do that. And so maybe there's a way I can get this a little bit shorter. I don't remember this being a problem on on my last one, but maybe that's just because I maybe did it a little bit differently. Okay, now I should be able to do an offset from surface. Yes. Okay. That looks pretty good. There we go. Okay, so now we've got the wheel well and the flap on. We're going to mirror this body. And there we go. Next one, we're going to assemble the wingtips and align our flaps, and then we'll make the flap cutout. And I guess we could make the landing gear cutout as well. And then we'll just assemble the flaps on, and then I think we're done. So next one, I guess.